P-U-H?
Papal Bull.
Okay.
That's
Cause
the
I got
Papal.
this translated into English by Dela. It started out with the what is it? The first chapter is the Chronicle of the Indians.
Yo, Copper Wolf right there. Look. Hey, Copper Wolf, where your boy at? Well, hey, Copper Wolf, put your email in the link. Or put it in the chat.
I got something with the Popo Vuh, man. I don't know if it's the same thing as yours though.
Nah, hey, we gonna get busy. Don't worry. I just put in the back though. I mean, hold up. Did you got the other articles I just put in there?
The one with the general civil order.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that one.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna put this one in there now. Just put this one in there too. Fuck it. Throw all of them up in there. Hold up. All right.
Okay,
Copper
yeah,
Wolf.
I got the Doctrine of Discovery. Okay, I got it.
All right. So let me see. Let me see if I can get Copper Wolf in here. Maybe he can get Copper Wolf. Peace, my brother. Yo, if you hear me, put your email in the chat. Put your email in the chat so you can come in. Peace to Aborigines. Peace to Brian Walker. Peace Raven Hawk. Peace Star Strike. Peace. Yeah, we about to go in on this one, man. It's just gonna be a heavyweight jam, y'all. So it's gonna be a heavyweight jam. So let's, you know what? And the Copper Wolf put it in. We're about to start. Let me see. All right, so how many people we got watching? 18, 19. I look at my boy Killer White Supremacies and Coons. Peace, my brother. Killer White Supremacy and Coons, boy. He don't hold no prisoners, man. Peace, my brother. Peace. My man. Been rocking with us for a long time, man. That's what's good, my brother. Consistency works, huh? All right, so we going in on this right here. We're gonna go in there. We're going on the doctrine of discovery, all right? And we're gonna go in on the the general civil order. So we're gonna be doing a lot of reading. I need you to pull that one up for me. Have that one on your open up, because that's a lot of reading, all right? I think I could probably rock with the if you wanna do the doctrine of discovery, and then I'll rock with the other one. So I'm gonna read a little bit of this, which most people already know what this is. So this is the Papal Bull, Doom Devises, June 18, 1452. And I'm gonna let you know. Shout out to the brother Lamb, because I wouldn't know nothing about this if Lex Will didn't make a video about this about like 6 years ago. All right. So it's a Pope Nicholas V issued the Papal Bull, Doom Devises, on June 18, 1452. It authorized Alfonso V of Portugal to reduce any Saracen, okay? Now, Saracen, Muslims, or pagans, or any unbelievers to perpetual slavery. This facilitated the Portuguese slave trade from West Africa. And that's what they tell you from West Africa, right? Now, I say the same Pope wrote the Romus Pontifex on January 5th, 1455, to the same Alfonso as a follow-up of the Doom Devices. It extended the Catholic nations to European dominion over discovered land during the Age of Discovery, along with saying the seizure of non-Christian lands. It encouraged the enslavement of native non-Christian people, not say in Africa and the New World. All right, now we know they went in the New World first. They didn't go to Africa first. All right, so let's get with this shit, man. What we at? Right here. All right, so we got the Doctrine of Discovery right here. All right, so this is the Papal Bull issued by Pope Alexander V on May 4th, 93, it say, well, that ain't the fifth. Well, what number is that right there? What Roman numeral is that? I don't know, Alexander, whatever.
That's
All
the
right, it's saying, that's a 6. My bad. So that's the next one after the first one, the one we just read about. That was let me just get it. Let me make sure. Alfonso the Fifth. All right, this Pope Alexander the Sixth. It say on May 4th, 1493, played a central role in the Spanish conquest in the New World. The document supported Spain's strategy to ensure its exclusive rights to the land discovered by Columbus the previous year. It established a Carmaxian line of 100 league of west of the Azore and Cape Verde Islands, and assigned Spain the exclusive right to acquire territorial possession and to trade in all lands west of that line. All others was forbidden to approach the lands west of the line without special license from the rulers of Spain. The effectively gave Spain a monopoly of lands in the New World. The bull started. Now they tell you the New World. See, they came here first. They didn't come to Africa first. Now I say the bull stated that any land not inhabited by Christians was available to be discovered, claimed, and exploited by Christian rulers, and declared that the Catholic faith and the Christian religion be exalted and be everywhere, from everywhere, increased and spread, that the health of souls to be from the barbarous nations, and be overthrown and be brought to its faith itself. This doctrine of discovery became the basics of all European claims in America, as well as the foundation of the United States Western expansion. In the U.S. Supreme Court, in the 1823 case of Johnson versus McIntyre, Chief Justice John Marshall opinion, in a unanimous decision, held that the principle of the discovery gave the absolute right to the new land. In essence, the American Aborigines, had only a right to occupy, which could be abolished. The bull Cantera made headlines again throughout the 1990s and the 2000s, when many Catholic petitioned Pope John Paul II to formally revoke it and recognize the human rights of the indigenous people, non-Christian people. All right. So just some questions right there. We're gonna keep it moving. This is the actual document. It's actually written in Latin. All right. All right. So boom. So transcript. Pope Alexander the Sixth, democration bull. We read that. It's a Alexander Bishop, servant of God, to the illustrious sovereigns. Sovereigns are very dear sons in Christ. Fernand King, and our very dear daughter, Christ, Isabella, Queen of the Castel Leon, Aragon, Sicily, and Granada. Now remember, after Granada, they took Granada after they defeated the Moors. They say health and episcopal benediction among other works were well pleasing to the divine majesty and cherish of our hearts. This assuredly ranks highest that in our time, especially the Catholic faith and the Christian religion, be exalted and be everywhere increased and spread, that the health of our souls be cared for by the barbarous nations, be overthrown and brought to the faith itself, wherefore much as by the favor of divine clemency, we through the insufficient merits have this holy see of Peter recognizing that as true Catholic kings and princes, they say, such as we known you always to be, and in your illustrious deeds, already known to almost the whole world, that declare you not only in eagerly desire, but with every my bad, every effort, zeal, and diligence, without regards to hardship, expensive dangers, with the shedding with the shedding even of your blood, and are laboring to the end, to laboring to that end, recognizing also that you have long since dedicated to this purpose your whole soul and your endeavors, say, as witness in these times with so much glory to this divine name, in your in your recovery of the kingdom of Granada from yokes of Saracens. All right, now look, remember Saracen. Now, just to take you off topic real quick, right? What did this is Verrazano letter? I like to pull this shit up. This is this is the Carolinas, okay? And what do he refer to the people like? He say the people are of color rustic, not much unlike Saracens. Now, me and the brother Jaguar, we just went over. This is a color rustic, right? These are color rustics, right? Now, and this is copper. And this is copper. You got red, red, brown, and brown. All right. So it tells you that the Saracens look like the motherfucking, look just like the people who was here. You understand what I'm saying? What did they refer to the people? Moors. What do they refer to the Saracens as? Moors. Okay. Let's keep it moving. All right. So I say we therefore are. Let me take this gum off. Excuse me. All right, it say, we therefore are rightly led and hold it as our duty to grant you even of our own accord and in your favor those things whereby with effort each day more hardy you may be enabled for the honor of God himself and spread of the Christian rule to carry forward your holy and prizeworthy purpose, so pleasing to immortal God. We have indeed learned, let me just hold up. We have indeed learned that you who from a long time had intended to seek out the discovery of certain islands, mainland, remote, and unknown, and not here. I mean, here, whatever. I can't fucking pronounce that. Discovered by others to the end that you might bring to the worship of our redeemed and our profession of the Catholic faith, their residents and inhabitants having been up to the present time greatly engaged in siege and recover of the kingdom itself of Granada, were unable to accomplish this holy and prizeworthy purpose, but said kingdom having at length been regained as well pleasing to the Lord. It say you with the wish to fulfill your desire chose to beloved son Christopher Columbus, a man assuredly worthy of the highest recommendation and fitted for so great an undertaking, whom you furnish with ships and men equipped for like design, not without the greatest hardship, danger, expenses to make diligent quest for these remote and unknown mainlands of the island. Dude, we keep it moving. I say the seas were hitherto, no one had sailed, and they and they at length, it said, with divine aid and with the utmost diligence, sailing in the ocean seas, discovered certain very remote islands and even mainlands that hitherto, it say, had not been discovered by others, wherein dwell very much people living in peace, and as reported, going unclothed and not eating flesh. So we was vegans, man, with the exception that we ate fish. All right. So say, moreover, as your aforesaid envoys are of opinion, these very people living in the said islands, the country believes in one God, the creator in heaven, and seem sufficiently disposed to embrace the Catholic faith and be trained in good morals. And it is hoped that we know where they instructed the name of the Savior of our Lord Jesus Christ would be easy to introduce into the said countries and islands. Also, one of the chief of these aforesaid islands, the said Columbus had already caused to put together built a fortress fairly equipped, wherein he had stationed as garrison certain Christians, companions of his, whom are to make search for other remote and unknown islands and mainlands. All right. Say, and the islands and countries already discovered are found gold, spices, and very many other precious things, the divers kind of qualities, wherefore as become Catholic kings and princes, after earnest consideration of all matters, especially of the rise and spread of Catholic faith, as was the fashion of your ancestor, king of renowned memory. Renowned memory. It say you have proposed with the favor of divine clemency to bring under your sway and said mainlands and islands with their residents, and inhabitants, and to bring them to the Catholic faith. Hence, heartily commending in the Lord to your holy, prizeworthy purpose, and desirous, say that it be duly accomplished, and that the name of our Savior be carried into those regions. We exhort, we ex, no, yeah, say we exhort you very honestly and earnestly, earnestly in the Lord, and by your reception, the Holy Baptist, whereby you are bound to the episcopal commands, and by the bowels of the mercies of the Lord Jesus Christ, enjoy strictly that, in as much as with eager zeal for the true faith, you design to equip and dispatch this expedition. You purpose also, as is your duty, to lead the people dwelling in those islands and countries to embrace the Christian religion. All right, who the fuck is Christians these days? Negroes. It say, nor at any time let danger or hardship deter you therefrom. It say, with the snout hope and trust in your heart that Almighty God will further your undertaking, and in order that you may enter upon so great undertaking with greater readiness and heartiness, endowed with benefits, and are apostolic favor. We of our own accord, let me move it down. So we have our own accord, not of your instance, nor the request of anyone else in your regards, but out of our own soul, largest, and certain knowledge, and out of the fulfillment of the apostolic power and by the authority of Almighty God conferred upon us in blessings. Peter, and the vicarship of Jesus Christ, which we hold on earth, do not do by tender of these presents. All right, so let me see something. All right, it says, should any of the said islands have been found by your envoys, the captains give grant and assign to you and your heirs the success king of Castile and Leon, say forever, together with all their dominions, cities, camps, places, and villages, and all rights, jurisdiction, and upon I guess that's pronounced. They say all islands and mainlands found and to be found, discovered and to be discovered towards the west and south by drawing and establish a line from the Arctic Pole, namely the north, to the Arctic Pole, namely the south, no matter whether the said mainland and island are found and to be found indirectly of India or towards any other quarter. It say the said line to be distant 100 league towards the west of the south, west and south from any of the islands commonly known as Azore or Cape Verde. It's with the proviso, however, that that none of the islands and mainlands found to be found, discovered, and to be discovered beyond that said line towards the west and south be in the actual possession of any Christian king and prince up to the birthday of our Lord Jesus Christ just passed, from which the present year 1493 begins. So, and we make a point to dispute you and your said heirs and successors, lords of them, with full and free power, authority, jurisdiction of every kind, with the proviso, however, our gift grants assignments, no right acquired by the Christian prince. It say who in actual, in actual possession of the said islands and mainlands prior to the said birthday of Jesus Christ. Say, and hereby to be understood, to be withdrawn or taking away. Moreover, with we command you in virtue of holy obedience, that employing all due diligence in the premise as you only promise, nor do we doubt your compliance therein, the accordance with the loyalty and royal greatness of the spirit you should appoint to the aforesaid mainland and island worthy God fearing, learned, skilled, and experienced men in order to instruct the aforesaid inhabitants and residents in the Christian faith and train them in good moral. For furthermore, the penalty of excommunication later senti is say to be incurred ipso facto, if ipso facto, should anyone thus contravene, we strictly forbid all people of whatsoever rank, even imperial and royal, say of whoever soever estate. I'm sorry, let me slide it down a little bit. Degree, order of conditions to dare without your special permit of that of your I'm sorry, which a permit or that of your of aforesaid heirs and successors to go for the purpose of trade or any other reason to the islands of mainlands discovered and to be discovered towards the west south by drawing and establishing a line from the Arctic pole to the um, Antarctic pole. No matter whether the mainlands of islands found to be found lines in direction of India or towards any other quarter whatsoever, the line said to be distance 100 leagues towards the west and south. All right, I think I got one more page right here. All right, finish this up. All right, Doctrine of Discovery. First said from the islands commonly known as the Azore, Cape Verde, apostolic, it's a constitutions with the ordinance and other decrees whatsoever to the contrary, notwithstanding we trust in him from whom empires and governments and all good things proceed. Excuse me. It's that should you with the Lord guidance, pursue the holy praiseworthy undertaken in a short while your hardship and endeavors, while attain the most fallacious as result to the happiness of the glory of the Christendom. But in as much as it would be difficult to have these present letters sent to all places we desire where desirable, we wish, and with similar accord to knowledge do decree that to copies of them. I mean, yeah, that 2 copies. I guess he meant to put 2 copies. I'm sorry about that. Signed by the hand of the public notary, commissioned therefore and still with a seal or any explicit officers or ecclesiastical courts. The same respect is to be shown in court and outside as well as anywhere else as would be to these present should they trust, no, they thus be exhibited or shown. Let no one therefore infringe or with rash boldness contravene this our recommendation, extortion, requisite gift, grant, assessment, constitution, deportation, decree, mandate, prohibit, and will. Should anyone presume to attempt this, be it known to him that he will incur the wrath of the Almighty God and bless Apostle Peter and Paul, given at Rome at Saint Peter in the year of the Lord 1493, the 4th of May, and the first year of pontificate. All right, that's the Doctrine of Discovery, y'all. All right, and like I said, this was the first one. This was Doom Devises. This was the one June 18th, 1452. This is by Pope Nicholas V, issued the Papal Bull, Doom Devises. It says to reduce any Saracen. Now they got Muslim right here, but we know Saracens are Muslims because if you look at the movie Robin Hood, you will see that he called Morgan Freeman a fucking Saracen. And it's saying unbelievers to perpetual slavery. This facilitated the Portuguese slave trade. Now it's saying West Africa. You know, they came to the New World first. Okay, so let's stop the foolishness. All right. And if you want to know what a Saracen is, they also compared the people Verrazano when he came to Carolina. In this paragraph right here, he explains what they wear, and then when you get down right here, say the people are of a color rustic, not much unlike Saracens. Their hair is thick and black. Now, do these Mongoloids got thick and black hair? No, they got straight fucking hair. All right, it's saying not very long, tied together in a knot behind and wear like a tail. If you go down south, you see old school black brothers with their hair wavy and shit with these little ponytails in them. And we wear them since like that everywhere. I mean, not saying that that's what we do on a daily basis, but you know brothers who rock their shit like that, all right? So, let me see if my brother Jaguar still. You still with me, Jag?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm
Jag.
still here. Yeah, I'm still here, bro.
All right, so I want you to, when you get a chance, I want you to pull this one up, because this one when we're gonna really read, we're gonna really get into this one. The general order, the general civic order, all these shits is related, bro. And let me see something. This is another one. Let me see. All right, here. This is what they were saying right here. So it's 500 years of injustice, the legacy of the 5th century religious prejudice. All right. Now I ain't gonna read this. This is basically the same doctrine of discovery in which we was reading. But you know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, you know, I have all this up right here so people can check it out. I don't like to read this font anyway. It's just too small for my eyes though. But you guys can check it out. I'll put the link in the description. If you go in the back chat on Google Hangouts, you can actually see I put it in it. So let's deal with this, what we was talking about the other day. This is the general order, the general civil order, all right? June 10th, 2014. All right, let me just make sure people in the house, man. Let me see who's in the house. All right, peace to the Aborigines, man. You know what I'm saying? To everybody that came through, man. Jolito. You know what I'm saying? To all the brothers and sisters, man. You know, glad to see you guys in. As usual, let's deal with this, man. Like I said, man, this is brought to you by Culture Freedom and Hidden Cultures of the Americas, as well as your Aborigine and Tanchan gear. So like I said, I wish you brothers, if you can, so please support me. And let me just, before I even start this, because our brother definitely just sent me a, matter of fact, just give me 1 second, though. All right, shout out to OB for sending me the $50 donation. CJ, MG, QAS, you know who you are. CS. Like I don't want to put y'all names out there, all right? So I'm just putting your initials out there, all right? Leonard T, L Perkins, RB, MKSL, LR, MS, and DM. Yo, I appreciate y'all, yo. I definitely do, man. And like I said, man, you guys can help out, man. Definitely, man. It takes a lot. I'm trying to definitely get the proper equipment. Like I said, I need to get cameras and everything. I got the medicine man working with me on this, and he has a production company as well. So he's gonna definitely be helping me out, as well as I'm trying to get some of the other brothers that that do the research, you know, and trying to, like I said, I got a couple people, more than a couple people that I'm trying to get in here, as well as my interviews, that I'm gonna be interviewing people on the actual street, letting you know, and I'm going to do it by hundreds. So I'm not going to just interview 5, 6 people. I'm going to show you clips of me interviewing hundreds of people, you know what I'm saying, and hearing their account. It's this one gentleman that I met, and he got like a garden. He's a Seminole. And he was telling me, man, he was telling me the story, man, and I was wild. I had to sit down, man. I actually sat on the crate, man. I was listening to this older dude. He was about 87 years old, still gardening, still, you know, got his little fruits, little peppers and everything. And you know, I like the garden, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, when I was coming up in the cooking, like as a chef, you know, they had the from farm to fork. They had, that was one of the things that they was pushing or whatever though. But you know, now that I'm into nutrition and holistic nutrition, you know, I'm very you know what I'm saying, savvy when it comes to gardening. And the brother AP too, man, he got a lot going on with that. And hopefully one day we can collaborate. We can cop some land. Well, we ain't got to cop no land. We can get some land, because you're an Aborigine, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, you got this pulled because I'm gonna need you on this one. This is 9 pages. I'm gonna run through the first 3. All right. And if you can just go to, you can just start the next 3, and right here, page 4. You can start, and we can go from there. That's cool with you?
Yeah, that's straight, bro.
All right, let's get it, man. So this is General Order, June 10th, 2014. Say issue to all members of domestic police forces, U.S. Marshal Services, Provost Marshals, members of the American Bar Association, and American Armed Services. All right. It say at the federal level, the American government has always been separate from the foreign international maritime jurisdiction, operated under the contract to provide 2 services: protect of the national trust assets. All right. Now that's why they try to tell you get your trust and shit right, right? The trust is the damn land. All right. Now, what's in the trust? The trust is these deeds or these documents that I'm about to pull up, right? Check this out. Perform governmental services of several states, which in the term international law are all recognized sovereign nations. The equity contract known as the Constitution of the United States of America make it clear that several states contracted to a form of a single governmental services agency known as the United States. What's the brother name, man? The brother the other night, man. I definitely want to give him a shout out. I tried to get in contact with him. I wasn't able to get in contact with him. Copper Wolf. If you're still listening, Copper Wolf, if you can get in touch with the brother, put your email in the chat, as well as put his email in the chat, and you brothers will come on.
Brother Tenkara.
Tenkara, exactly. Let me see. Matter of fact, let me see something before I go first. Let me see that he put it in. I don't know if Copper Wolf's still in there. Let me see something. It's gonna be a heavyweight jam, y'all. I don't think he put it up there. Yeah, Copper Wolf, man. If you hear me, man, you get a chance, man. Please put your email in, or send it to the brother Jaguar Omek, as well as the brother Takara. I would definitely want y'all to get in on this, because you guys put me on it. Actually, like I said, I heard Taj Tariq Bey talk about it. He did the whole thing, but I wanted to connect this with the Doctrine of Discovery, because it's all related. All right. So what was we at? All right. So the equity contract known as the Constitution of the United States of America make it clear that several states contracted to form a single government. Okay, the several states contracted to form a single government services agency known as the United States. The contract stipulates the assets to be held in the trust, a federal governmental, in a preamble to the Bill of Sale, comprising the trust indenture portion of the contracts, and also stipulates the 19 enumerated services to be performed, and exactly what powers the states agreed to delegate to the United States, and how they would pay for these services. They say what isn't so widely known or appreciated, that the governmental services company known as the United States was privately owned, all right, and operated commercial company. Okay, commercial company. Okay, it's not a fucking country. The country is the United States of, that's when you stop it, America. So they just occupying the territory of America, and they have a corporate interest. So anybody who's a United States is a fucking employee. Okay, this is why you can be as an Aborigine, you are the American. Okay, that's why Dred Scott case 1858 told you would never be a United States citizen, because you are the American. The United States is of. Look the word of up, and you will see exactly what's the difference. It's just because it makes it of doesn't make it American. And this is the problem when most people come here. You are a agent of the United States. That doesn't make you American. To be American, you have to have what? Originally applied to the Aborigines or copper-colored races found here by Europeans. So if it's telling you the copper-colored races found here by Europeans, now but now applies to descendants. We can easily say, nah, you ain't no American, because it says originally applied to the copper color. So now they apply that to everybody they let come here. But that's why you have to know the difference. A United States citizen, somebody who came here and signed paperwork to come here. The Americans are the Atanchan, the one with the soil running through their fucking blood. Okay, just because you on the land don't make you an Atanchan. Atanchan has the soil have the minerals and the dirt and everything that comes with being on this land inside your DNA. Okay, you sign paperwork, you come from China, you still look Chinese, you never made it with an Aborigine, then you are Chinese forever. You are a Chinese employee of the United States. All right, so let's keep it moving. All right, so it's a operated commercial company set up by Benjamin Franklin in 1754. George Washington was actually the 11th president of the company. And the first president to take office after the receipt of the constitutional contract. According to the 1824 Webster Dictionary, the word federal was a synonym for contract. At the time of the original Constitution was written, all constitutions are affirmations of debt. In the case of the debt, the state assumed when they created the federal government and jointly pay for the services that it would provide. The office of the president, what sits at top of the fucking company? Who sits at the top of the company? The president. They say it always has been uniquely commercial office, not a head of state. Because of the federal government services companies, it's privately owned and operated. Only shareholders known as the electors have a real say in its elections and administration. Now look, real quick, we touched on this the other night, right? Let's read this again, because I don't think y'all hear me. Because the federal governmental services company is privately owned and operated. Only the shareholders. So if you're not a shareholder, you're not elector. When they tell you the elector college are the shareholders, the motherfucking hot. So the to be the elector, you have to be a shareholder. So they're not going to let the fucking minions, which is the United States employees, aka United States citizens, vote and pick the fucking president. Okay, it's say have a real say in its election or administrations. It say only trustees, known as members of Congress, have a right to determine how the national trust assets are protected through. They are obligated as trustees to do a responsible job of it, and only the state have the right to comply if the stipulated services aren't up to par. The American people are large. Now, hold up. The United States people at large know simply as inhabitants of the domestic states of this. Hold up. Matter of fact, no, I'm bugging. I got to say that because they talk about us in this one. The American people, which is us, the American Aborigines at large, known simply as the inhabitants of the domestic state. Or the state citizens have always been separate from the district population apart from the United States citizens or federal citizens. It's saying to these two groups, the third kind of citizens was added in 1871, that of the United States. The following the Civil War, the governmental services companies providing the services agreed to by the state reorganized as a corporation, DBA, the DBA doing business as the United States of America Incorporated, and published an article as the Constitution of the United States of America. Like the Constitution for the United States of America, the Constitution of the United States of America is a document peculiar to the new municipal, that is the city-state government, formed the administrator, the affair of the District of Columbia, the federal territories, and the possessions.
That's it right there. Then that's it. They let you
Bro,
know right there.
bro,
That
yeah,
that was
man,
how they. That's part of how they still usurping our government, man. They
bro,
gave you
listen,
a document titled like the original form, which was for America instead of
huh.
crazy,
Yo,
man.
this right here, this is a heavyweight jam, bro, with that doctrine of discovery, man. Look. Mm. All right, let's continue, man. All right, the corporate constitution provided for the creation of the new kind of federal citizen, a U.S. citizen. And from that part onward, from the perspective of the new federal municipality government formed by the Act of 1871, American state citizens, the inhabitant of the domestic 50 states, were regarded as non-resident aliens. This same corporation, DBA, doing business as the United States of America Incorporated, the chartered in Delaware, began operating two separate governments. At once, the municipal government of the District of Columbia and the federal government owned to the states of the Union, both under the spice of the United States Congress. All right. These semantics descents have given rise to the endless confusion, usurpations of criminality. These general civil orders address some of those issues which are most important at this time. Let me see something. Hold on, my bad, y'all, my bad. You know how I do. All right, the Congress sees operating as it was required by contracts to operate in 1860. After December of 1865, it never again operated as an unincorporated body politic representing the state of union, the federal government, and the function and the function exclusively as an incorporated commercial entity with the electoral board of the board of directors merely calling themselves the U.S. Congress. Ever since, as such, the federal government is a commercial corporation like any other commercial corporation. It has no special status nor immunity from prosecution. It hasn't functioned as a government body for the sovereign nation for 150 years. Okay, you know why? Because the original was written by the Iroquois. And the original, that's why they took this shit from the Iroquois. That's why they just told you George Washington was the 11th president, right? But the first congressional president, okay? So now the first non-president or the first 10 presidents prior to George Washington probably was all Aboriginal. No, they all was all Aboriginal, because you got to remember the first Constitution, what was written. That's the Article of Confederation. Then you got the other one before that, saluting me at this time, but we're going to keep it moving. It say, to overcome this obvious difficulty, the U.S. Congress formed another union of the American states from the federal territories and possessions, the several insulars state, including the state of New Columbia, District of Columbia, Guam, Puerto Rico, American Samoa, Alea, and formed a new nation, simply calling themselves the United States, and claim separate nation sovereignty. Thus, we have the United States of the America, comprised of the 50 organic states created by statehood compact of the United States of America, minor representing the several installed states, both being administered under the direction of the corporate board of directors known as the U.S. Constitution, which has continued to act solely as the sovereign government of the United States of America minor. Okay, these baltants, semantic descents of officers of the federal corporation and the officials of the United States of America minor amount of purposeful constructive fraud against their employees, the American organic states, to try to overcome this obstacle. Members of Congress contrived a complex regulatory scheme, say, by which they establish their own state government and have tried to claim that they have been at war people while relying upon the organic states for their own sustenance, say, and have falsely claimed that they established exclusive legislative jurisdiction over the original states. The Union, by these acts of self-interest fraud carried out against their own employees and benefactors. Fraud has no statute of limitations. The governmental services corporations have always been under the commercial contract to provide services to the American people and have acted against the employees as employees. It is essential that the members of the Bar Association, members of the state government, which has been surreptitiously, I guess that's how it's pronounced, redefined to their detriments, members of the domestic police forces and members of the various armed forces gain a clear understanding of the facts that the purpose of the administration of the government services on the American state soil. The federal government is a corporation with no more civil authority on the land that J.C. Penney and Harley Davidson. Now, it's telling you right there. There are them corporations too. It's telling you that the United States Corporation is a fucking corporation company just like J.C. Penney's and Harley Davidson. Okay, let's keep it moving. All right. The federal government is under contract to the organic states, and the forefathers vested the entire civil government, they say, on the land of, land in the people inhabited, say, the land. Each American is a sovereign. It's an organic state of the Union. Each one has more civil power and authority on the land. It say that the entire federal government, it say, has ever had and even can have. For that reason, as a result of the deliberations which have already taken place among the other nations of the world, the federal government doing business as the United States Inc. Incorporation, a French commercial corporation, is hereby called to task for non-performance on its contractual obligations. The semantic dissonance involved its claiming that the citizens are U.S. citizens, and all the others fraudulent claims advance against the United States and the peoples are to be fully recognized for what they are: fraudulent claims having no merit and own no enforcement. They say other corporate entities, notable. They say the Federal Reserve and the International Monetary Fund, which are responsible for creating and promoting this fraud as to be recognized as and dealt with appropriately as international dealers in fraud and usury. All right, now check this shit out, y'all. American Negroes has in the past considered U.S. citizens because that is the only citizenship they were ever granted after the Civil War, a grave error of justice as a result, as that resulted in them having civil rights, which are privileges granted by the U.S. Congress. Instead, the natural and unalienable it say they were also claimed as chattel backing the debt of the United States of America, incorporated despite both national, international abolishing slavery and peonage. All right, it's a prompt correction is for the organic state, and the proclamation of these organic states. They are granted full and immediately recognized status as the American nationals, owned all the national and unalienable rights of any other organic state citizens, no matter what geographical defined state. Let's keep it moving. I'm gonna keep on reading, man. Say may inhabit it on this land. The only exception are those unfortunately born within the borders of the interstar states, the District of Columbia, GAM, Puerto Rico, etc. It say who must self-declare under Article 15, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It has been a policy of the United States United States of America minor to consider all federal employees and members of the active duty military who are birthright inhabitants of the United States of America, major temporary dual citizen subject to the United States. Now they trying to say dual citizenship, right? Because a lot of people like you say, like, all right, a lot of these Jews got dual citizenship. Like they tell you, Rahm Manuel, he got dual citizenship. A lot of other people got dual citizenship for the most part. All right. And that's pretty much like when you get these Chinese nationals, they got dual citizenship, or any of these other nationals, they got dual citizenship. We don't have dual citizenship. It gets told you, you are the heir to the fucking land. Okay. Now, the United States of America recognizes no dual citizenship whatsoever, and the process required for any birthright inhabitants of the land to adapt the U.S. citizen is both lengthy, excuse me, y'all, lengthy and purposeful as the state in the United Statute at large. The revised, excuse me, I don't know what the fuck this is. Where was I at? Give me a second. Let me see where the hell I was at. All right, right here. The revised statute 2561 as the employees of the United States of America minor say we exercise our perpetuatory interest in and direct all American state citizens to defend the interests and integrity of the American organic state, regardless of any contrary orders issued by any corporate officers, the United States of the foreign officials acting under aspects of the United States of America minor. Keep it moving. Say all birthright state citizens of the U.S. of America major are specifically enjoined from engaging in any activity contrary to the health, welfare, safety, benefit of the fellow state citizens, and will otherwise be recognized as criminals regarding to what uniform they wear or what authorities they pretend to have. If corporate President Obama should order any member of the U.S. military or any armed agency personnel, I guess that's some of them acronyms right there. You see FEMA in it. I say, etc., to open fire among the American state citizen, it will be a war crime against the combatant civilization, civilians, and it will be immediately recognized as such throughout the world. Say, for all military and civilian-based defense law enforcement agencies to rule. It's the rule to be observed is if you can't do it as a private individual, you can't do it as a public officer. See? Let's keep it going. Say any state citizen who is forced to open fire on federal or federally or federal state or state funded personnel, defense of life and property. It say will recognize as a non-combatant civilian without exceptions, held harmless and supported by all members of the American Armed Forces. It say of the United States of America, major and all American state militias, all state citizens so impose upon those in her employment, and say, or hired by those in his or her employment in any capacity whatsoever, including elected officials, will be entitled a full reparations in the amount of $5 million US dollars, say, or the equivalent at the time of damage incurred for every death. 25 million. What's that? That's 2.5 million. That's 2.5 million US dollars, or the equivalent at the time of the damage for every permanent disability. They shall also be owed full reparations for all property damage incurred and upon up to 80 times the compensatory damages at the discretion of the jury of their peers. The individual states of the Union form the statehood compact, retain the full and unencumbered claims upon their birthright inhabited. These states are defined geographically. They are not incorporated entities, and they are not represented by any incorporate state. All right, say the organization at the time. All right, Jack, you want to take over page 5 right here?
Yeah, I can take over. Yeah.
All right, go jump on that, man. I'm about to go see to see that he put his email in there. Bring the brother in.
Okay, so it say they are presented solely by the unincorporated body politic and their individual inhabitants who retain all organic and civil prerogatives on the land. Those organizations currently calling themselves the State of Alaska or the State of Alaska, etc., are representatives of two different governmental services corporations operated by the Federal Reserve, State of Alaska, and the International Monetary Fund, all capital, State of Alaska, doing business as franchises of the United States of America Incorporated and the United States Incorporated. So I noticed, like, that's like they got a copy basically of every pretty much branch, it seems like, State of Alaska. So it's another corporate. The corporate side would be the all capital State of Alaska. So I
That's
guess
right.
that's why they keep showing the capital they'll show it in all capitals, but prior to that, they'll show it as stating it in a regular sense. But
Right.
it says here they have no representational capacity whatsoever and are operating under commercial contract only. Because these states, because these state and federal entities have all functioned under conditions of non-disclosure and semantic deceit, serving to pro, promulgate fraud upon the organic states and the American people. They are all to be considered criminal syndicates to the extent that they have been aware of their status and have failed to correct their operations and representations. All contracts held by these organizations or assumed to be held by these organizations are null and void for fraud. These contracts include, but are not limited to, contracts for sale, for labor, for trade, citizenship contracts, powers of attorney, licenses, mortgages, registrations, and applications agreements of all kinds. All signatures of American state citizens acting under the influence of semantic deceit and non-disclosure are rescinded.
Know what rescinded means? Recall.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All those individuals engaged in employment as federal and state and municipal employees and elected officials are hereby given notice that they are employees of private for profit corporations that are merely under contract to provide stipulated public services, having no special status, having no immunity, and having no authority as sovereign nations or states. Man, any actions that they take infringing on the rights and prerogatives of American state citizens are criminal acts without exception and are to be treated as criminal acts. These individuals have exactly the same standing as employees of any other commercial company, and the rules, regulations, codes, and other statutes they enforce are obligations unique to those organizations only. It says posse comitatus is to be observed and enforced on the land of the domestic organic states, regardless of any executive order issued by Barack H. Obama, acting as president of the United States of America, minor, okay, or as the president of any incorporated entity whatsoever. Any such imposition of martial law by Mr. Obama has exactly the same legal standing as martial law imposed by the president of Burger King International or the king of Sweden on the land of the organic states. He can order his paid employees to commit hari kari if he wishes to do so, and they may follow his instructions if they care to, but they may not under any circumstance murder anyone, assault anyone, seize any private property, or cause any trouble for American state citizens, or they shall be immediately recognized as criminals and treated as such.
Hmm. Interesting.
Likewise, the government of the United States of America minor, got to keep these minors and majors in mind. Okay. It says, likewise, the government of the United States of America minor may do what it wills with those who are legitimately born under its hegemony. But it cannot say one word claiming authority over any birthright state citizen of the United States of America major. So the major gotta be the original United States of America, and the minor must be the corporate United States of America. Okay, so please note that Barack H. Obama is Commander in Chief of the U.S. Armed Forces, which legitimately includes the Puerto Rican Navy and whatever security forces and endemic to Guam, America Samoa, and the other insular states. The Grand Army of the Republic and its successors are obligated to perform under General Order 100. The American Armed Forces, also known as the Armed Forces of the United States of America Major, are paid for by and obligated to serve the organic states, which we present and for which we require your service. In the absence of a properly formed and operational government of the Republic, all rights revert to the organic states, including the civil authority to issue these general orders. President Barack Obama is operating as an official of the United States of America minor and as corporate officer in the employ of the United States, a French commercial corporation chartered by the International Monetary Fund, an agency of the United Nations. He is not now, nor has he ever been elected to any public office of the United States of America major. Okay. Notice they had United States, a French commercial corporation funded by International Monetary Fund in all capitals, and the agency of the United Nations is also in all capitals. So, likewise, the members of the U.S. Congress have never taken the oath of any public office of the United States of America, major, and are merely operating as private corporate officers of the same commercial corporation doing business as the United States capital, which is corporate. All offices deriving and paid or receiving credit entirely or in part as a result of the original equity contract known as the Constitution for the United States of America are offices of the armed forces to the United States of America major. By definition, and those who serve in these offices are employees of the inhabitants of the domestic now 50 states defined by statehood compacts. As such, you are now receiving direct orders under the civil authority of these organic states. All the foregoing circumstance is indeed the mischief predicted by Chief Justice Harlan in his dissenting opinion given in Downs versus Bidwell. Mischief resulting from allowing Congress to operate two governments at once, one a constitutional republic and the other on oligarchy or oligarchy under the plenary control of Congress. The members of the U.S. Congress have been corrupted by power or by power lust or through ignorance, subverted and used to serve the aims of criminals. That does not give anyone else a license to sin. It merely requires the recognition of the sins of the members of the Congress and appropriate and enlightened action depriving them of any power or excuse to continue these deceits and usurpations. There are 515 people responsible. It is incumbent upon them to straighten it out and for the rest of us to insist that they do so. It is also the responsibility of all members of domestic police forces and all members of the American military to preserve the peace and tranquility and prosperity owed to the American, also known as Aboriginal people. By order issued by Pope Francis, doing business as Franciscus, all capital, which is a corporation, which must be the Franciscus Corporation, on July 11th, 2013, all members of the American Bar Association are similarly required to serve the cause of peace and will be held individually responsible for any action seeking to undermine the government of the organic states of the Union or defraud the people inhabiting the organic states. We affirm under penalty of perjury that we are natural living birthright inhabitants of the Wisconsin state and Washington state, respectively, fully of age, permanently domiciled in the jurisdiction of the heir, holding unimpeded material interest upon the land jurisdiction of the states of America. These general civil orders are issued upon our civil, commercial, and canon authority by our living hands and our testament jointly sworn and witnessed by our seals and autographs before Pope Francis and all nations, declaring that the truth of these matters has been established beyond reasonable doubt upon the public record, and we hereby autograph, seal, and issue these general civil orders to all officers commissioned and non-commissioned active duty and reserves without the United States of America minor, without the United Nations, without the city of Westminster, and without representation. And that's just the autograph, I guess, signature of, you know, people with a seal. They got the copies that they sent out to the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Major General, State of Alaska, Governor, State of Alaska, Chief of Justice.
That's some
Yeah.
deep shit, bro. That's some. Listen, look, man. Like I said, man, this is a heavyweight joint right here, y'all. Ain't nobody doing this shit, man. I told you, niggas be talking about superheroes, man. And they come on here and talk about we don't be doing no work, man. I've been doing work since I opened since my channel been up. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, we've been doing this for a minute, man. So when you start reading this right here, you start seeing along with this and doctrine of discovery, man, you should be well informed. You know what I'm saying? You should be well informed, bro. I mean, brothers and sisters, man, you should be well informed, bro. With, like I said, the doctrine of discovery, they telling you who they was looking for, the Saracens. Verrazano came here, told you that the people are color rustic, not much unlike Saracens with their hair black and thick. Okay, they already know what's up. And then even when you get it down here, it says, even when you go down here, it says, let me see right here, where we at? It said they are well figured in limbs. who always win the Mr. America? Ronnie Coleman or Phil Heath, right? It said average stature are commonly somewhat bigger than we are. Broad breast
strong arms. Their legs and other private parts, their body are well fashioned. They are disfigured in nothing, saving that they have somewhat broad vests. It say not all of them, for we saw many of them well favored, having black and great eyes, and cheerful and steady look. It says, yet sharp witted and great runners. There you go. So when they tell you right here, when we go to the top, back up here, right here. All right, right here. It said the American Negro has been in the past considered U.S. citizens because that is the only citizenship they were ever granted after the Civil War. A grave error of the justice of that resulted in them only having civil rights, which are privileges granted by the U.S. Congress instead of the natural unalienable. Look the word unalienable up. Can't put a lien on an unalienable person. Okay? Or I don't want to say person because we know what person means in law. Or unalienable, we want to say unalienable entity. Fuck it. They say rights. They say they are naturally to heir to. They say they were all claimed as chattel property, backing up the debt of the United States of America incorporate, despite both national and international prohibit abolishing slavery as penalties. Okay? So, I mean, like I said, man, look, man, I'm going to put this in the description, man. You know what I'm saying? Definitely I'm going to put this in the description. You guys can copy it, you know what I'm saying, and study it, understand this, as well as the doctrine of discovery. You need to have that too, because these are stay under. We understand, and that's what I'm trying to tell people. You don't understand how deep this shit goes. You know what I'm saying? This is the doctrine of discovery. And what does it say? It says this is the first 18 June 18, 1452. It says Pope Fifth. It says reduce any Saracens and pagan. Now I say Muslim right here, but we know the Saracens are also considered Moors. Okay, but we're not calling them Moors because they were just some mysteriously group of people. They're calling them Moors because they had the color of rustic or the color of copper. Okay, let's see something real while we dealing with this shit, y'all. A second. Stay with this, man. Let's see who are the Americans and what we're talking about. Or at least if we can see, we can get it. For those of y'all who don't know, for those of y'all who had y'all head up under a rock for about the last 5 years, let's see what the word American means. It says, oh, a Native of America, originally applied to Aboriginals or copper color races found here by Europeans. Okay? Now, I like to tell people this, right? A lot of people think the Mongoloids are Aborigines, right? But let's go to the term real quick, man. Let's look the word up again. I did this 100 times so far, man. Okay? It says animal or plant that have been in the country or region from the earliest time, mistaken singly Aborigines. All right, it say for 1500. It say Aborigine is considered a correct singular. It say in English. All right, let's go ahead. Let's go to that. Yeah. Now, see this right here says specific Australian sense, but that's not attested to the Australian because we know that it says 1828. Now look, here we go again, right? Now some people don't like to use the word "ab" or whatever, but the AB it say away from. I say rise, commencement, beginning, source, distinct, lineage. Go down and say colonized. You know that this is only for 1820 right here. But when they go up here, they talking about us right here. Now we go down right here. It says first inhabitants. Okay, first inhabitants. It says possibly a tribal name. They say of which made form to a Latin phrase, original, which means literally from the beginning. If they telling you that the Bering Straits Indians came here 28,000 years ago, which we know, according to like what medicine telling us yesterday, that these people just got here. They ain't even come through no fucking Bering. The Bering Straits shit is some made up foolishness or whatever. And basically telling you, man. So, and then what would these people look like? Let's take a look at what copper looked like, okay? See this? See this copper? You got red, brown, and brown, okay? And brown, okay? Look at this, okay? Let me see something, because you probably can't even see my other screen before. Let me pull this up real quick. Open it back up, man. I don't know, let me see something real quick. Can you see this? Jack.
Yeah, I can
You see it, right?
I see the
Look.
pictures. Right?
See the picture. You see the pictures or the picture?
Pictures.
Pictures. Let me see something. All right, let me go back. Let me go back out. Let me go back out. Stop sharing that. Let me share the entire screen. You see this now, right?
Yeah.
All right. So don't remind what it say. Oh, stallianoid. Okay, forget that. All right, because we know that the Negroes was the people in the Americas first. All right, so this says American. Okay, now who the fuck do this look like? Where are the people at that look like this? This don't look like no Indian to me. Okay, this is not a fucking Indian. This is your ancestors in which they telling you that you are a fucking African. Now, if the American look like this and the African, I don't look like him. I mean, my people don't look like him. My people look like this motherfucker. Okay, my people look like him. Okay, so and then how would you tell these two people apart? That is the $1 million question. How would you would be able to tell them apart because of the meaning. You see him, the way he looking, and even when you go here. Just give me a second to open it up, you guys. See this? See this brother here? Same thing. Same fucking person, okay? But you know, these idiots say, oh, he got straight hair. We know that he was already fucking with our hair for the longest. Okay, we know that. You know, you see these brothers in California wearing the perms. You know, we've been fucking with our hair forever, bro. You understand what I'm saying? So enter over and pick a stand and try to, you know what I'm saying, come in some common understanding. You know what I'm saying? This is what the American look like, okay? So for people who claim to be American, they're not. If they not the Aborigines or the copper color races, we just showed you what copper looked like, okay? This is copper, y'all. This is copper. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them tell you. It said red, brown, and brown. Okay. What did Verrazano say looked it like?
Right.
He said the people are of a color rustic, not much like fuck did they say they was coming to conquer? The Saracens and the pagans. Okay. Okay, what color is rustic? Huh? What color is rustic? Let's see. They go your ass right there. They go your ass right there. You understand? They go your rustic color right there, okay? Let's stop playing these fucking games, man. We just gave you the doctrine of discovery. We just gave you the general civil order. All right? know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, I hope people appreciate this stuff, man, because ain't nobody doing it like this, man. You got people, like I said, they making foolish videos, man. They ain't doing much, man. They ain't trying to, like I said, and people out there, it's best to be in your proper persons, man. Be that true American. You ain't gotta be the foreigner. You can be the original, the aboriginal. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Don't let them fool you, man. Don't let them fool you.
And
And we
then
know that go ahead, man. You good?
oh, no, I was gonna say, man. I mean, they letting you know. I know a lot of people done probably already, kind of read the Doctrine of Discovery, but we gotta really look at, you know what I'm saying, like what really took place and how that stuff is affecting us, our people, right now to this day, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, when people mention this, especially if they mention it without our defense or without the progression and the real benefits of the people standing up for our land, you shouldn't be speaking about no Aboriginal. You really shouldn't be speaking about nobody's information. Because even if I was in Africa, if if it was switched the other way around, let's say, okay, the story switched around. People came from America to Africa, and that's the broad story that we all got. Even if I stayed in Africa and I knew it was people in that land that I had family ties to, you think I'm not gonna stand up for that land? You see what I mean? To me, it's one of these things where it get down to total common sense, regardless. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't dare grow up on a land that done fed and gave me some of the best life experiences, some done seen some of the most beautiful people, from the most talented people, from the most cultural balance and humble and basically most praise from any other country around the world. Why would I not stand up for my own land and then speak for you to stand up on another land that I'm not even standing on to this day? To me,
Hmm.
it has gotten pathetic, man. And if anybody else say anything about Aboriginal, original, indigenous, I don't care if it's in Africa, China, or wherever. If you ain't trying to stand up for anything that's right, period, when it comes to people in their land, no matter where you at, you don't need to be teaching nobody nothing, man. Straight up, man. And that's from the heart, dog. You know what
Facts.
I'm saying? Some people just got like fucked up all the way around because you sitting up here got your mind based on one area or one specific study that somebody that ain't even our kind is trying to write themselves into. I mean, some things you gotta put in your own simple common sense perspective. Okay, we still trying to figure out where a group of people came from that can't nobody put a finger on, and we got all these theories and stuff that we can only go by to point these people out. You know what I'm saying? And we using their science and their methods, using their bases and their concepts of study in order for us to figure out where we come from. When the whole time these people are trying to write themselves into history, period.
Hmm.
And you mean to tell me we got to sit up here and go with their way and their method? They got to learn all these different types of studies and forms of curriculum because they don't know how to adapt to natural ecology because these people destroy everything. So yeah, you're gonna probably have to uh study all type of different methodologies if you a beast like nature. But you mean to tell me some people just don't have the authentic common sense coming from bloodlines that have been here forever, don't have the natural sense to tell that something is wrong, period? And you telling me that just because you going with somebody that created a science that is saying that supposedly have facts that we all come from this area, that we all supposed to agree to it until we can unprove it otherwise. Get the fuck out of my face with this craziness, man. This shit is insane, man. And if anybody, like I say, man, anybody, I ain't trying to go on too long, but if anybody else say anything about any indigenous or original people, and you not standing up for the land that even your people that you have family ties to, you're not gonna stand up and help those people on that land. You need to shut the hell up, man. Cause something
Brother
really bad
Garfield.
gonna happen to you, man. Straight up.
I don't mean ain't nothing bad gonna happen to Brother Garfield. He gonna be blessed. But but yeah, we talking Brother Garfield. He definitely tried to persuade us, like, you know, and that's why I'm done talking to these idiots, man, because it's common sense, y'all. Okay, you heard Verrazano. Verrazano said the people look like Saracens. We seen the movie Robin Hood. What they call Morgan Freeman, a Saracen. Okay, now people would think the whole Saracens, no, black Arab, but we know the word Arab was only invented in the 1900s, so it wasn't even black Arab. So the Arabs over there now are not even the original Arab. But understand this, Saracen also was called a Moor. Why was it called a Moor? Because the Saracens was dark-skinned complexion people with the same we had. Now, these idiots will tell you that the people of this land had straight hair, but your boy Atanchan would show you images showing you the people here had afros. The maps Don Oberly put up, the people have afros. Either afros or some type of lock type of hairstyles. So, look, man, lose us with the bullshit. We didn't did the knowledge. We showed you what the color of the people here. Where the fuck are these people at? It's just so happened that the people who claim to look like that, which is now called Freemans, they can't get in because they think they Afro. You telling us that the original Americans was copper colored. He told you that he told Verrazano said the people of color rustic. It showed you what the color rustic is. Where are them people at now? Oh, they just died. Okay, they died, diseases, smallpox. Okay, we get it. But the Africans who came over here on a boat of piss, shit, defecation, and throw up and all other bodily fluids laying in it, they was able to come here and go right to work, right? You fucking fools, man. Let's get into this shit, man. I ain't got time. Let me see something, man. Let's get into this, man, real quick, man. You know, we already know, man. Let me show y'all, son. Y'all already know how I get down with this Indian slavery shit, man. Y'all already know how this shit go down with me. Let me see. Let me make sure I pull that article up. I got 3 articles right here.
Peace, everybody. Peace.
Peace, Al.
Who that? Peace, Ad. So look, this is the original shit, bro. And like I said, even they was enslaving all of us, bro. All of us. They enslaved all of us. They enslaved the fucking Nash that had something to do with the Devil's Punch Bowl. They was already Aboriginal people who was already there. You know what I'm saying? This article, these 10 articles that will tell you that they were, along with Jack Forbes and other people, accounts of what the people look like here, man. We already know, man. So you can't even play around with me. I ain't the one to be debating. Because if I show this shit in the lecture, people gonna feel deceived. People might jump on a motherfucker, man. If you debating somebody and they trying to deceive the people and you showing people pictures like this, you showing people pictures like this, right? You showing people, they like, hold up, man. That don't look like the fucking Americans on these reservations, man. If you show everybody this fucking picture who got fucking eyes, they like, hold up, man. That don't look like reservations, bro. But then you start telling them, then you start showing them Smithsonian Institute, you start telling them how they said that the modern Native Americans resemble Africans, Australians, and South Pacific Islanders, but the first Americans resemble Africans, Australians, I'm bugging. Modern Native Americans resemble Japanese, Koreans, and Chinese people. But the first Americans, which brother right here, resembled Africans, Australians, and South Pacific Islanders. I got a whole fucking research of work showing you what these people look like. From Mayans, man. Let's stop the bullshit, man. This all work. You saw them laugh at you when you show them this, man. They can't laugh at you, man. Look at the coat on. This New York. I'm just saying the coat of arms. This is, I guess, this is the state seal, or they like to put the seals and shit up. But for look at this. Right. You see this? New York. Where the Indians at that wear this shit at? Oh, I know where they at. They're classified as Jones, Johnson, Williams, etc. Okay? That's where they at. We are. Oh, that's why you miss, man, because they telling you who you are, but you got people out here that get paid for you to be an African. For you to be an African is big moolah, big money. You understand? It's big money for you to be an African. Because now they're going to tell you that if you know who you are, they couldn't do what they do to you in your land. Because you're protected. Now look. Now this is when we talk about the doomed devices, right? With the cross. This not an African. She's not an African. This brother right here with this afro not an African. This brother right here hanging down from his body. What he got hanging down from his body? Look, check this out. It says, the people go all together naked, except for their private parts, with certain skins of beasts, like until martins, when they fasten upon the narrow griddle made of grass. Very artful, hung with tails of diverse other beasts, which round about their body dangling from their knees. Okay? Now, like I said, man, smartest person in the world, the scientific method, the first one is observation. This is an observation, okay? Then, let's make a hypothesis, okay? I observed seeing black people here. I have other research that's telling you what the people look like, what the colors look like. Now I can make a hypothesis. After that, let's come up with a theory. Then let's do a fucking experiment with all the research, all the articles, all the pictures we got, and let's see if they look like the people here that's classified. Hold up. But also, let's take in consideration of what these people said they was going to do when they got here. What the Columbus said. He said, get these people to adapt European culture, wear clothes, and do what we want them to do. Okay? Wouldn't that be the first people that they met here? Like I said, man, look, man, listen. We're going to get right off this, and we're going right into the encyclopedia of the Americas, the Aboriginal encyclopedia, 15,000 years of contribution. Since I got these brothers right here, we're going to go right into that. And let me see something real quick. Let me click on this. I don't want to make this video too long because I want people to understand it. Like I said, I'm going to stop making them 3-hour videos unless we just building. When we teaching, I'm going to make the video short because people attention span is not very long. So I can't, like I see the 6-hour videos people don't. So I got to make the video short and we're going to make another video. So with that being said, brothers, y'all stay right there. I'm about to open another screen. Y'all ready to go? You got the encyclopedia pulled up?
Nah, I ain't on my computer, but shit, I got it pulled up, though. So I ain't gonna be able to screen share. So I'll be able to, I'm gonna be going off of your screen pretty much at A1.
No problem, my brother. Y'all remember where we stopped at?
What did we stop at? I think we made it to
I think E or F.
Like either E or F, one of them.
Yeah,
Matter of
like
fact, you
the
know what?
end of F, almost in G. We was almost in G.
All right, listen. Peace to the people in the chat, yo. I appreciate everybody, all the Aborigines that came through as usual. Um, we're gonna kill a white supremacy, Asiatic Moor, our new breed. Who we got? We got Christian Joy, Aboriginal Leo, Ebony Knowledge, um, Don Tap, peace, my brother. Paula Beard, peace. Rodriguez, peace. Ghost, good looking, my brother. Kawa, peace, my brother. My brother Killer White Supremacy and Coons. It's my nigga. Let me see who else in here. No Love Chuck, peace. Asiatic Moore. Latoya Love Locks, peace, my sister. And like I said, man, this has been brought to you by Culture Freedom, Hidden Cultures of the Americas, also by the Tontana Aboriginal Gear. The comments, the descriptions and the links are in the description. If you would like to donate for the cause of the video, to get this documentary out, as well as if you would like to cop you some official Tontana Aboriginal gear. So when you at work and they see you wearing the home of the thieves and you know what I'm saying, they see you rocking this shit, they asking you, well, what do that mean? Oh, this means I'm the first inhabitant. You're not an American, you're a United States citizen. So with that being said, man, we out of here, man. Catch you on the other side. We'll be right back. Peace.